An alarming drone incident that forced one of the U.S.'s most critical Air Force bases to close its airspace for several hours.
Literally stalking a U.S. Coast Guard cutter. And you're out in the middle of the ocean. Why can't you bring it down there, right?
Yeah.
If you take videos of those shiny drones, Men in Black might show up at your door, or at least that's what this user is saying on her TikTok.
So apparently the feds show up if you post those lights on TikTok. Last week I posted a video about those 12 lights that I saw fall out of the sky on my way home. Not at the same time, they fell individually. Well, my boyfriend's coworker also saw them and he caught them on film and he posted them on TikTok. And apparently they showed up to his door and he was asked to delete the video. And every time I use Cape Cod as a location tag, I get a notification stating that the video is restricted due to the location being an invalid location tag. So it's safe to say I was right about them not being shooting stars.
As you can guess, this video got a lot of attention because people wanted to know more about what was happening in Cape Cod. And the most interesting thing here is that this lady isn't some UFO enthusiast or conspiracy theorist. Her channel is mostly catered towards music, and she only made this video in response to her earlier TikTok where she explained what these lights really look like.
I saw something fall out of the sky on Friday, and I would like to know what it was and if anyone else saw it. Backstory, I went to visit my boyfriend at work on his break. It was already dark outside. It gets dark at like 5:30 here. And on my way home, I saw something just out of the sky. It was a bright light, so at first I kind of thought, oh, like a shooting star. But the way that it just like was kind of weird to me. And as I'm driving home, I see another one, and I saw not 2, not 3, not 4, but 12 of them by the time I got home. I wasn't looking to see more. These all just happened to fall different places that were in my line of sight as I was driving. So there obviously could have been more just behind me or to either side. Is this normal in Massachusetts? Because I didn't see any of these last year. And they all fell individually, separately. This wasn't like a meteor shower and there was like a bunch of them at the same time. But yeah, I'd love the scientific explanation if anyone has it, because it'd be kind of cool to know what is going on and if I should expect to see that again out here.
Now, there's a lot to unpack here. In the first video that I showed, she explains how TikTok restricts her video every time she uses Cape Cod as a location tag. And unlike many people who make such claims, she was diligent enough to even post the notification showing that her video really did get restricted. And the second thing she talks about is, of course, the story of how the feds apparently visited a guy she knows and asked him to remove the footage of these lights. Now, there is no way for us to know who these feds might be or if they were even federal agents at all. However, this wouldn't be the first time a federal agent went to a civilian's home to talk about their social media posts. There are multiple videos of FBI agents showing up at people's doors and asking questions about some posts they made.
Hey there, Jeremy?
Yeah.
How are you?
Who are you?
I'm Agent O'Donnell with the FBI.
Can you give your full name, please?
I'm Agent O'Donnell with the FBI.
Is that sufficient to identify as only one O'Donnell affiliated with the FBI?
In New Hampshire, yes.
Could you please state your full name, sir?
Could you please stop recording?
No. It's First Amendment right.
Okay.
What's your name, sir?
Could you stop recording, please?
Absolutely not. You can show me your name and identification, or I'm going to go back inside my house.
Okay. I don't really want to broadcast my...
Oh, this is going out right after you guys walk away.
So that's why I'm not gonna... All I want to do is talk to you about a post that was made, and if you
Well,
happen to be the one that made the post.
I want to talk to you about you guys coming here. Say you make a salary of, I don't know what, low 100K? You guys making six figures? Factor in 50% expenses, overhead, maybe 100% expenses. Talking about burning a couple $100s an hour just here, let alone all the time you guys are spending to investigate something that you know is not against the law, right? Like you're familiar with. So then why would you come?
After watching videos like this one, it's not far-fetched to think that a Fed could visit your place if you took a video of something that they didn't want you to see. And since these drones are now showing up all over America, more and more people are recording things that the government and the agencies simply cannot explain.
Y'all are saying this, right?
Yeah,
This is not what everybody's talking about on the news right now.
I think so. Whoa.
This is just one of hundreds of strange clips that were posted online within the last few days. Someone posted this really creepy footage of drones from Charleston, South Carolina. And then we have this video of a crashed drone from Mammoth County, New Jersey.
It's been up there for at least 4 hours. It's not a normal hour. I can see it moving.
I think it's just the
Are you trying to read something?
I think it's just the
Now, if there's an expert watching this video, I would love to know what kind of drone we just saw because it sure looked kind of cool. But what's not cool is the fact that our government keeps saying that we have nothing to worry about whatsoever.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus. Upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. The United States Coast Guard is providing support to the state of New Jersey and has confirmed that there is no evidence of any foreign-based involvement from coastal vessels. And importantly, there are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace.
Now, I don't know how this guy can spread so much misinformation with so much impunity. First of all, how can you say that there isn't any drone activity over restricted areas when multiple channels are reporting this?
Nice, thanks Reagan. Well, Wright Pat Air Force Base confirming that unmanned aerial systems were seen near the base, shutting it down for 4 hours Friday night all the way into Saturday morning.
Med Flight 8 Patterson Tower, use extreme caution for heavy UAS movement on the base. Security forces is handling the situation.
Either the Wright-Patterson Air Base is not really a restricted area, or John Kirby is just spewing more nonsense on national news. And this continues with his bogus Coast Guard claim as well. He claims that coastal guards have assured him that there are no drones coming from the sea. Well, here's Congressman Smith destroying that claim.
Well, last night I was on the beach in Island State Park in Ocean County with the sheriff. He has been working it every single night. He's got his own tethered drones chronicling. One of his officers 2 nights ago saw 50 drones come in off the ocean right there. So we thought maybe they'll replicate it. They didn't, but we thought it was a possibility. Then last night we had a number of other people there, including a commanding officer from the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water, followed right behind them. You know, and I said, what's the rules of engagement? I mean, you do it if you're fighting against a narco trafficker or something. And they said, we don't know, we don't have any. So I did reach out to the commanding officer at the Joint Base, which is also in my district, and talked to him, had a very good conversation, Colonel Anthony Smith, Joint Base Fort Dix McGuire, the 87th Air Wing, Air Base Wing today. And I said, I know you have the capability, you've put out press releases, to identify and bring down drones. Why can't you deploy them, at least to the ocean? Bring one of these down, find out who's doing it. They have the capability. He said, we don't have the authority, only within the parameters of our base.
After the congressman told the world about what these Coast Guardsmen were witnessing, John Kirby once again popped out of his cave and made yet another strange claim.
There was a story a couple of days ago about a Coast Guard cutter seeing like 30 or 40 drones following it. We did the forensics on that. It turns out it was air traffic going into JFK International Airport and not drones at all.
So our national security communications advisor is telling us that the people defending our coast are not capable enough to distinguish between drones and normal air traffic. Can you imagine how disrespectful that claim really is? It's not a surprise that the members of the Coast Guard felt insulted by Mr. Kirby's remarks. While speaking to the New York Post, one Coast Guard member said, "It's implying we're making shit up when the ones making up shit are down in Washington, D.C. We were actually out there to see if we could spot any drones because of all these sightings. Well, we found some drones. Or more accurately, they found us. I'm terrible with measurements, but the swarm was about 80 to 100 feet above us. They had 4 propellers, 7 feet across, the flashing lights like you've seen. The festive green, red, and white lights. Commercial airplanes don't move like that, he said. I've been out there on the water when planes were coming in for landings in New York, and trust me, you can tell the difference. We're not idiots. We know what drones look and sound like. Now, as we've heard from Congressman Smith, our Coast Guardsmen don't even have the authority to shoot down these drones unless they try to enter the base. So we've basically tied their hands behind their backs while John Kirby is calling them incompetent. At this point, I'm not trusting anything coming out of that man's mouth. Every time he tells us we have nothing to worry about, I remember this interview.
And the state police.
And they're saying no threat to Americans.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing. When I walked in here today, I was actually pretty calm. I was excited to be here to find out a couple things. I thought they'd be like, hey, listen, it's FedEx trying to figure it out. But instead, I got the most ridiculous amateur hour briefing I've ever sat through.
Wow, that's
Now, if you want to know what happens when the government starts lying, just look at this video.
Out right now that radioactive material in New Jersey has gone missing.
That's Mayor Michael Melham from Belleville, New Jersey, who, as you can see, is saying that these drones might be looking for radioactive material that went missing in New Jersey.
The material in New Jersey has gone missing on December 2nd. It was a shipment. It arrived at its destination. The container was damaged and was empty.
Now, he's not completely wrong because the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission issued a report about some missing radioactive material on the 12th of this month. However, within this report, the agency makes it clear that the missing substance contains less than Cat 3 levels of radioactive material. And the report also says that such sources are very unlikely to cause permanent injury to individuals or contain a very small amount of radioactive material that would not cause any permanent injury. So it was a false alert, but this kind of thing will continue happening unless these dinosaurs in the government decide to tell the truth. However, I certainly don't think it's going to happen anytime soon because there's a very high possibility that these drones are controlled by our very own agencies. Now, I would love to know if any of you have come across any strange flying objects in the last month or so. If you have any stories or clips, feel free to share them with me on X. If you enjoyed this video, give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.